to find a restroom. Sydney's character's name's B. Needs to find a restroom, and there's a long line in the cafe, and I just happen to be there at the front of the line, offering my ability to have access to a bathroom key. I personally think it's one of the better rom-com meet-cutes out there. Sydney's really great in this. Uh-huh. She knows how to do comedy with an air dryer like I've never seen anyone do before.
Okay, so you have two people who totally hit it off in the beginning, and unfortunately some things don't mix and come across because B's in a different place in her life, Ben's in a different place in his life, and they unfortunately hurt each other. Mm-hmm. And then they are forced to go to best friend, sister's wedding, see each other again, and they're ruining the entire thing. So they have to fake be in love with each other to try and make it all better. And then they fall in love.
And then they fall in love. That was sort of like my half that I was going to contribute.
I know. Well, you never came in. I was just waiting for you to come in there.
Took my line. So the funny part about this movie for me is that it's actually not like we have to pretend to fall in love sort of thing. It's like just a small little degree changes where the games really escalate, and that's where I actually find it to be. The architecture of the whole movie is like based on Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, so it's really classic and very elegant in its way, but it's also like fueled with all these like big fun set pieces and big laughs and all that stuff.
The games that they play are, I think, what you see and why they're so perfect together.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely hit it off really quickly, and I think that while we were filming it, we were like, I feel like everyone's gonna feel what we feel. We had so much fun. I had the script a little while before Glenn came on, and we were putting together the whole cast of who we should take it out to, and I remember, like, I met Glenn at MTV, and then I saw Top Gun. I was like, maybe we should talk. And so we had a Zoom, and I pitched him the whole concept of the film. And this was before we had a director. We sold it to Sony. Like, it was just a spec script. And so I had him read it, and he liked it as well. We both share just the love of rom-coms and the nostalgia factor, and we just want to bring people joy and happiness. And so he came on board, and then we took it to Will, and Will Gluck, our amazing director, came on board and sold it to Sony, and now we're here.
Yeah. You navigate this thing, you know exactly what you want, but you do it with kindness, which is also very hard to do.
Thank you.
Very hard to do.
I fell in love. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. And what I love about our movie, too, is that we actually got to embrace Sydney for Sydney, where so many movies, you can't shoot a certain angle because it shows a certain monument. And we actually got to show the beautiful side of Sydney, Australia. And we got to experience it, too, which was so magical.
Yeah. They gave us, the Aussies are the greatest. Like, they love...
The kindest, most fun cast and crew.
Yeah, like they're really great at their job, but they're just also like they just open the doors to us, so we had access to everything.
Everything.
The fact that we're shooting at the Sydney Opera House in the Sydney Harbor, you know,
in a helicopter.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They just gave us full access, but we, you know, also this movie's a little bit of a, you know, it's a love letter to old rom-coms, but it's a love letter to Australia. You know what I mean? And what a beautiful place that is. Makes you want to fall in love. You know, it's awesome.
We have one of the best casts, I think. Like, truly, everyone had such an amazing time. We have Hadley, who plays my sister, who's marrying Alex. Darren's my ex. We have Dermot and Rachel, who play my parents. We have Gata.
It's a stacked cast. I want to just like, all right, let's just talk about Gata.
Okay.
Let's talk about Gata.
All right. Hilarious.
Gata's amazing in this movie, and also so full of energy and appreciation and like such a sweet like goofball. I don't know if you've ever seen Dave, but he's also like an insanely dramatic actor as well as being comedic, and he was a guy that I knew I was going to get to do a lot of scenes with Gata, so I was super excited about getting, because we're like best pals in the movie, so I was a little starstruck when I first met Gata. And
then let's talk about Hadley and Alex.
Mm-hmm. I've known Alex a long time. Alex and I actually we got like an award a long time ago, some like up and comer sort of actor award like 10 years ago. Oh, so I just knew Alex through that like
That's
a long
amazing.
time ago. And so we've been talking about working together for a really long time. So it was really special that we actually got to occupy a set together. And she's coming fresh off of Barbie Land.
Yeah.
You know, she's got that.
So proud of her.
She's got that Gosling and Margot Robbie dust all over her.
She killed it.
You know, she killed it. And yeah.
And she was so fun to hang out with too. She was always a good buddy to just.
She is funny.
She's really
She
funny.
is a really
And
funny
then
actor.
Hadley is so fun too. She's just, I mean, the sweetest, most honest, and crazy person.
I think that the funny part about Hadley and Alex is also their
Characters are flipped.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what when we were filming, we were like, huh.
That's funny.
Like Hadley's more like Alex's character in real life,
Yeah.
and Alex is more like Hadley's character in real life. And halfway through filming, I remember we were with Will, and we were like, interesting.
Yeah, it's really funny because Alex is fun and spontaneous,
A free spirit.
Yeah, and Hadley is legitimately like kind of like the maternal instinct of everybody. He's always protecting everybody and caring for everybody, which is literally those two characters are completely opposite of who they are.
Yeah, she called me, you okay?
Yeah, which is great. Yeah, but you know that honestly, their relationship has to work so well in this movie. If you don't root for that marriage,
Then
you
all
don't
of it
have
doesn't-
stakes.
yeah.
Yeah, so they just did such a great job and are just so lovely as people that you want to root for us to not ruin their wedding.
And then we can't forget Darren, the star of the whole movie.
Darren Barnet.
Darren Barnet.
What a dreamboat. Darren Barnet.
I love Darren.
Well, you know,
Wow.
the only reason Darren doesn't take his shirt off in the movie is because he would outdo me. You know, it was a real ego play to make him keep his shirt on.
I love working with Darren. He is so funny, and he's also the best laser tag
He's
player.
incredible at laser
Mm-hmm.
tag.
Beat all of us. And when I say we're very competitive people, for him to beat us,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a little athlete, and also has a very passionate fan base. When we went to that amusement park,
Oh yeah.
we went to an amusement park,
They love
and
Darren.
man, we could not stand in a line without Darren fans coming.
Like Darren.
I'm like, bro, you gotta go off and ride rides by yourself. I got stuff to do here in this amusement park. Can't just be signing autographs with you all day, taking your selfie, taking your pictures.
That was the best, was people asking like Glenn or I, can you take the picture with for us?
For
and
Darren, I'm just like, just spend all day in an amusement park taking pictures with Darren's fans.
We
Yeah,
started selling them.
we should have.
Yeah. You
No.
want to cry with people. You want to laugh with people. Do you want to keep going or?
Yeah. Cry and laugh. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's the fun part about this movie in particular is it delivers on all the things that made those rom-coms of the past like really, really great. And you don't see rom-coms being made like this anymore.
Big set pieces.
Huge scope, big stunts.
Yeah.
Big laughs and big love.
Do you want to see Sydney Sweeney and Glen Powell fall in love and then out of love and in love with each other on camera in a movie in Australia during the winter time with your friends? Then come see this movie, and I guarantee you'll laugh and cry and you'll have a great time. It's a gigantic cast. It's 12 huge personalities. So the scenes when all 12 of them were in the scenes together, it was a little bit of a goat rodeo. But it was fun, and they all had a great time filming it, I think. And they all liked each other a lot. So if you like each other a lot, that helps a lot. But those scenes were when I woke up in the morning and said, "Oh, this is the scene with all 12 of them." It was going to be a challenge, just because there was so much stuff and they're all so good. It's kind of to figure out how to get each person their kind of time to shine. But at the end of the day, it's really fun. And 12 is about enough. I'd say that's about enough. You know what people always say in these things, like, "Oh, they had a great time making the movie." They literally had a great time making the movie. It was summer camp. It was summer in Australia. Everyone came down there not knowing anything, not knowing each other. They all fell in love with each other. They all spent every moment of each time. In the weekends, they all grouped everything together. And because of that, no one went back to their trailers. No one went back. They all hung out on set and played around, and there's music playing. And you want that lightness to be there in a movie. And this one did not need to be manufactured. And yeah, I just realized looking at all the behind-the-scenes stuff, they do seem to be jumping around a lot, but they had a good time. Sydney is you'll see in the trailer and the movie is extremely beautiful, and you after about the first 15 minutes of the movie, you just start staring at the blue skies and the ocean and everyone in the having fun in the water, and you kind of forget whatever city you are in the West, whether it's Europe or in America, and really want to look into those flights to Australia. Really enjoyed filming this movie in all around Sydney and Australia, and the most fun I think I've ever had on a movie set was when we filmed all the beach scenes in a place called Palm Beach, which is one of the fanciest and most beautiful places on Earth, actually. And we would shoot all day, and then the crew would all go home, and they allowed our 3 trailers, myself, Sydney, and Glenn's trailer, to stay right on the beach. So we all decided instead of going back home, we would just sleep in the trailers, because you always forget that you can actually sleep in these trailers. They're not just, a place to feel like a big dog. So we every night we filmed, we went for a swim, and then we all hung out on the beach, and it was literally the most stunning. You'd wake up at 5:30 in the morning with the sun coming up over the ocean, and the air was beautiful, and it was so quiet, and it was the most beautiful place I think I've ever woken up for 5 straight days. And it's in the movie, right? So that's the ocean we're looking at, and our trailers are right there in the water, so I'll never forget that. Yes, a lot of the times, especially the landing in a helicopter at the Sydney Opera House. And I remember we kept asking for things, and they kept saying no, and I would ask my line producer, Catherine Bishop, is this a no? And they say, in Australia, it's like the 11th. The 11th no means it's going to be a yes. And it would get to be, what about the helicopter? We're on the 7th no, 8th no, but don't worry about it. And sure enough, like the 12th no became a yes. And they allowed us to shoot in the helicopter landing at the Opera House. And having Glen Powell jump out of the helicopter without any stuntman, without any harnesses, and just do it. And it was very safe. But there was that moment when we were filming, and I remember looking at Glenn and saying, I cannot believe they're letting us do this. And Glenn goes, I can't either. And then he jumped out of the helicopter. This movie it's almost like, it almost feels like you're a fly on the wall watching these people have fun and fight and laugh and love and fall out of love with each other. But because they like each other so much, all of the whole cast, including Sydney and Glenn, this sense of companionship and fun and joy just kind of exudes off the screen. And that's not something I did. That's not something the script did. That's not something the cameras did. That's just who these people are. And it's really fun, especially nowadays, to kind of be a fly on the wall and watch people who are going through some stuff have fun and get out of there on the right side and with a big smile on their face and do it in a funny way, in an edgy way. And, this movie is not going to solve any world problems. But it is going to show you that people can have a good time and and live happily and funnily and enjoy themselves. And when you go see this movie, you can't help but come out feeling a little bit of optimism for the humans.